Hi, hello Anup. Hello Johnson. Thanks for joining me today.
Hello.
So, I want to.
Thank you, Praga. It's my
Hi,
pleasure.
hi Johnson. Yeah, so I want to speak very less, but I want to make sure that I get the point across why I wanted to do this. See, right. First of all, let's check what's the market is doing, right? So right now we are in a basing kind of a right now we are basing money. We are most probably in a zone which is basically here and here, and generally this is how the market structure goes. Like when you are in an uptrend, it goes like this, and when you are in a downtrend, it goes like this, right? So there is a possibility that we could be in this zone, sort of a top, right? And how to know? uh, so this We had an uptrend, then we had a low, but we had a lower high, and then we had another low, and now we probably are going for a bounce. And today was a good candle to confirm that we are going on a bounce. Okay, now I hope we are clear why this was a bounce, because on a 30-minute time frame, what we see is we have a reversal structure here. This structure could be looked at a double bottom or a inverse head and shoulder kind of, where this is the shoulder, this is the head, this is the shoulder, and we had that breakout, and therefore on a lower time frame we have a low higher high, higher low, the previous low say upper high, higher low, and then we also have a higher high, right? So now we expect that this guy is gonna move up, okay, in the coming days. Now that's all we can that's all we can sort of anticipate, and we can also anticipate that probably this is the first place till where this bounce could go. Okay, now that is number one. The second one would be like you have you have the previous high, which is here. That can be the another area, and of course the third one, which is the worst one, would be uh, uh, we have something like this, right? So we have to be wary about all of these scenarios. Okay. So, what I was telling here in 2 minutes is that, okay. So, people who joined a little later, what I was telling is that right now we are in a basing phase, and we had today an indication that this is actually a low on the base, and then we are probably up for a bounce here. Okay, so this could be the first area from where we might face a resistance, and then move back, or we could that area might not form a resistance, and we could also now challenge the previous high. So this is basically, this is the how long you can sort of anticipate. You cannot anticipate कि अच्छा ये होके ऊपर जाएगा, right? So we will have to take bar by bar. And why this is because on a lower time frame, which is like at the 30 minute time frame, we have something like this, wherein we already had a higher low, this, and we also have a higher high. Okay, now on Nifty is slightly lagging, in the sense that we don't have a higher low, we actually have a lower low, but I think this is just क्या बोलते हैं उसको, shake out kind of this one. And we are also tomorrow, I mean, this is just my sort of prediction. Right now I don't have anything to tell you, except for that there is a good level of RSI divergence. So although the stock has been making, although the Nifty has been making lower lows, the RSI and MACD has been making higher lows. Okay, so that's a positive bullish divergence which we are seeing, and that's why I feel that Nifty will also catch up with the kind of structure the broader market which is the Nifty 500 CNX 500 is making. उसके बाद क्या होगा वो हमें नहीं पता. Like these are the couple of possible scenarios. Okay, so the what I am trying to the more important thing is basically talking about strategy, right? So what's the kind of strategy we need to be taking? So this is from coming from a point of view of short-term slash medium-term positional player. When the market is like this, okay, rest assured that 70 to 80% of market will also be languishing in this kind of structure, because that's how it works. Like stocks move together, except for a couple of a space wherein a stock specific movement will be there. Now if you are someone who's still able to catch the stock specific movements, that's well and good. But right now we can be little held back in our attitude ki only once we confirm the strength coming back, then we can may start making positions. And again I will keep repeating this. Above this pivot would be where we know the strength. So last time bhi kya hua tha, similar, right? Remember a day ago I said that tomorrow Nifty will start firing. So that was on this day evening or before this day, because at that time the signs were clear that we have now came out of this base, and after that we had a couple of very nice days for swing trading. Similarly, this could be we are here and we are just like trying to now bounce back. Again I will keep repeating the same things. We don't know if this bounce back which led to a breakout now will again play out the same way, but we will get some ideas even before कि होने वाला है या नहीं होने वाला है, right? So for a couple of swing we can definitely the market is probably, in my opinion, starting to get conducive to a short swing kind of a structure. And that's why if you get some new opportunities, these couple of days, though definitely it was a no kind of a period, but for a short term guys, we can be a little active in due before in couple of days, tomorrow, day after, right? So that is the kind of situation we are in. But again, make sure that once we don't break down from this level, because if that's the case, then this is a very clear case of sort of a small bear flag, right? Something like this. So this is also a very valid market structure, and that can happen. So just making so just be cautious and थोड़ा फूक फूक के कदम रखना है, right? Now being said that, where are the pockets of strength? Let's basically discuss that. Let's basically discuss where can we look at a strength. Now there has, even before this fall started and around the fall also, there are two groups which telecom is certainly a group which has been really great, right? So if you sort 5 day ka, if you sort 5 days, this one relative strength in the sector, you can see telecom, finance, many of the finance names, and definitely PSU Bank. So if you sort, I think it's already sorted. So PSU Bank is clearly still the place, and I'll show you why I think so. If market sort of bounces up, in my opinion, the safest bets will be PSU banks. Okay, that is one. And the second sector I already like a lot is telecom. Okay, and couple of finance names have also been making really good noises. But again, those if you are only taking a couple of bets, I think these two places are enough for you to look around. Okay, now also more evidence of that is, see, we've already discussed this, and I am going to discuss this again very shortly. I'm going to repeat this, right? So how do you know that which sectors or indices or group are the strongest in the last few days? That would be if you look at key what percentage of stock from those industries or groups are making 52-week highs or a month high or a 3-month high, right? So if you see all of those three things, And this is again readily accessible to all of you. This is the sector rotation dashboard here, and here's the stock percentage stock within 95% of the 1 month high. And if you see here, you will see bank, and why this bank is coming, because this is PSU bank. Okay, and this yellow sorry green line is telecom. This guy is coming up 50-day, for a 50-day period. Also again banks are the already this one, and also telecom is the one which is made a very uh, a higher slope wala structure. And in 52 weeks also telecom as well as banks, right? Um and you can also see that in here. So if you just sort key what percentage of, so this is four different columns. If you see this column tells you what percentage of stock are within 95% of their 20-week high. So if you sort this, you will see again QSR is also very strong, but QSR banks, the same kind of names you will be getting. Okay, QSR. If you go to industry again, no, not here. So here, what are the sectors which has given the most returns? Also again telecom and banks, and again Nifty PSU banks also in terms of indices has given the most return. So uh, so so these are the couple of the as a group I'm saying. Okay, here and there there are so many other things which are making 52-week highs, I mean 20-week high, 50-week high. So for example, recreation amusement park, in here you will find two names, which is Wonderla, Imagica. These are the names which are making. But again, right now, had it been a clear-cut bull market, chasing those names are fine. And right now, anyways, if you are being a little this one, I think the best place, in my opinion, is to look for the the PSU bank names. Okay, so if you again now go back and see the PSU bank, how is it shaping up? Like, what does it look like? This looks like a peak flag to me. Uh, if you see from here, we had like a very nice 18% move, and this was even before the this was the 12 September thingy. And after 12 September, everything you look has gone downhill, but only PSU is something which has gone uphill from here. And most probably we are going to get uh, a follow. I mean another breakout here, and this has been basing for three four days. So yeah, if anyone is looking to make a new move, PSU Bank is still should be the best player. Now another place to look for if you want to make a new position is basically your watch list, which you have already been looking uh, before markets went sideways, right? So I'll quickly go through a couple of names which are in my watch list, and they are all really good names. That's why I'm still keeping it. I mean, Dodla has gone on an hibernation mode a little bit, but for a longer term, this could still set up and be a very ferocious guy. Right now, not so much. See, Genus is also another good name, and it's still basing. So as long as the Mars indicator doesn't go below zero, we still have this nice pivots, and the price is not so far. One bullish day, and we could see all of these guys, going out. Somehow something happened to GMR Pui, and so this guy, another guy, and you could see how many of these structures which have been good and which have been doing well will also represent how the market structure looks like. So imagine your Nifty CNX 500 on this day, how it looked like. It came back, and then it's now starting to move, this one. And I mean, this is a very nice, this one, any sort of lower low, higher low here, and this would be a great setup, right? and you can see that always look for volumes when this happened, and the volumes are really less. uh, this was a punter bet. I'm yeah I'm happy with this right now, because this was a low, and we had a slightly higher low or same low, and hopefully this will set up, and when market conditions are favorable, this guy will also move. So I'm already in hard win. See, HPL Electric is also now taking the shape of a small ascending channel, and I'm very hopeful that this guy will, move. So this is, if one bets in HPL Electric, you will actually have a very small stop loss, right? So remember the three kind of entry system we have. One is obviously breakout, so breakout would be above this, and one would be like a cheat entry. So cheat entry in this case could have been above this, because this is a tight area, but it's actually not the higher pivot. And this could now take a look of some kind of a cheat pivot, or you can just say that this is an ACR, which is ascending channel reversal, and if this ascending channel holds true, then this would be a good bet. The railway pack have all been doing not so bad, I would say, because they are actually not falling. So we already have a lower pivot, and this kind of structure will be evident in almost all the railway names we have been tracking. And something like an entry above 78.8, which is the previous high of the this that's the pivot. So this is the 30-minute time frame, and here you could see that high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, still a lower high. But what we can expect is this: if this guy goes breaks out of this, then this would be a higher low, and then we will have a new high, and that is another place where one can take an entry. Okay, I am contemplating that. Still haven't put any this one. I also don't want to be early, because once you are already in, then getting out of the positions becomes. I mean, I struggle with that, so I know that's my limitation. So my idea is to be very precise in my entry, although I am not in most of them. But that's my goal, and so I'm also a little bit lethargic in putting entries, because a couple of them where I put already are not working. So I also have to manage risk in that way. I cannot be holding more than 4-5 names with high position size, which are all not working, because that will open my account to a larger risk, which at this point of time I'm not willing to take, right? So that's where a lot of railway names are at, in the sense they are setting up really well. Okay, Jag Suna is also setting up really well. Again, this was a premature entry. I thought that on 12th, when a lot of stuff were bad at that time, I saw that pharma was holding up well, and I thought maybe this guy is a good bet. But again, it backfired in the sense that it didn't work. But again, right now it's also setting up in a really a good manner, and hopefully when tomorrow, day after, whenever the bounce comes, then this guy also bounces back, right? So whatever you already have in your watch list, like for example Johnson, so this 1T 2T, this failed, and we now have this as a 2T, and this could be potential 3T, right? And if this breaks out, this would be another good name to track. So this guy, I was hoping that this. So you have 1T, this is probably a second T, but again, this I don't like this. Somehow Geofinance is also from a financial name, but not working as some other names. I don't know why. Hopefully this works. uh, Again, KPI green is also basing again. So the point I'm trying to make is, do not forget all these names. These will be the ones. See, I really did not put chart yesterday, but I just messaged the name because this was a clean breakout. Also, I did not put the name because I really don't want most of you guys. To be honest, I don't want many people trading in this scenario, because this is the time when we get cut from all sides a lot, right? So the number one thing which I am trying to do with my own trading is like stepping away from the market a little bit, because if I follow things a lot very more closely, then you would want to make some positions, and then because the market conditions, it will not be like conducive, it will not move and all, and then you will get chopped up, right? So that is something which I am personally avoiding, and but again, such a nice this one. And you will also see something which I have been now talking more often with Mars. Okay, so whenever there is a reversal or a breakout, you always get a confirmation from the Mars. So Mars also Mars also sort of, on this day, yesterday, which is basically this, also sort of reversed from the zero, which means that okay, this is picking up relative strength, and that followed through. uh, Again, this would have been a very nice quick 6 to 7% sort of this one move. But again, point is like there are so many names which are setting up. Just we have to be patient, man. We just have to be patient, and something which you really like. For example, if Masdoc is something which you really like, okay, so there is nothing stopping you to put a GTT over here. The thing is, you have to back your own stock, and your back your own conviction, back your own reading of the price action, and I'm here just to help you if you have any doubts. And also Marsdog is again another good name, right? Setting up this guy, I sort of I sold it yesterday because बहुत ज़्यादा पेशेंस खा लिया मैंने मेरा इसने, and also looked like a inverse head and shoulder, and so I did not want to take any chances. Newland Lab is setting up, like Newland Lab is setting up so nicely, and we now have sort of a cheat pivot here, and if it gets more tight and breaks out, it's a really nice place to make an entry, right? All-time favorite Electra is still getting tight and tight and tight. And see, the thing is, stocks. This is what happens. Like sometimes when stocks go sideways, then more and more people will lose interest. And when the whole world do not take interest in the stock, that's the time when big players get in, and it sort of moves. So yeah, some of the other names again, Paramount Communication is also brilliant. Parag Milk is setting up brilliantly, like too good. Like there is nothing stopping you to put a GTT. The key is to focus on a couple of stocks where you have high conviction, and then just make sure when they break out that you will not miss out on that, right? So that's my main name I don't want to miss out is IRFC. I don't want to miss out on Olectra, and probably a couple others, like for example Parag Milk is also something I really really like, right? SJVN. So SJVN is possibly we have a lower pivot here, and again, yeah. So this is a kind of move which is possible here again right now, you know. Um, TD Power not so great, but Titagar is also again setting up really well, right? I really, when Titagar was here, I thought like bhai ab niche jayega, but yeah, see, markets are very dynamic, right? So today there was some buying in Titagar, and suddenly it now looks like really good. It looks like, hey, this could be a cheat pivot for us, right? So market is that kind of dynamic right now, especially when things are at the support, and things are at the resistance. These are the two times where your view of the market will actually change every 5 minutes, like so 5 minute में ये व्यू चेंज हो गया. Had this guy not gone up and had this guy gone below, your view would have, my view would have at least changed on the stock, right? So these are the times where we have to be really careful. Now Trident could now form from the second, right? Again, just going through a couple of names, okay? Uday USK. USK is again getting tighter here. Uh, Definitely there is a chance that it can come back and retest the previous low, and in that case it will again be setting up. Okay, and if not, this is also another setup, like a low risk kind of a setup. So Indian Bank is the bank, PSU, where I am in, and I hope my entry criteria was very clear. One, I did not want to miss the PSU Bank rally. Second, when I entered at the time, there was no other PSU bank which was sort of giving me a low risk entry, unlike probably right now. Okay, and this is a smaller kind of a watch list. I have a bigger watch list, and again, lots of names which there are setting up right now. One really good name which I saw today was a really nice. Um, Not Tanla, but I just want to show you Tanla is also setting up really well. So by the time it sort of comes out of this, relative strength would also be in the positive. Okay. Mm, yeah, Man Infra, man. So Man Infra is also setting up really well. You see. So 1T, 2T. Hopefully, if this guy again gets tight. So the thing is, what I wanted to emphasize is, see, although sector rotation happens, sector rotation doesn't happen in a whim, right? Strong sectors are the sectors which has more probability to go further when the market health, market breadth improves. So keep close watch on your already prevalent watch list, and yeah, uh, make make uh, I mean, follow few names, but follow them closely so that when they actually break out, you don't miss it. So for me, those names are like the top names are the railway names again. I still hope that railway has. I don't know that about multi-decadal or blah blah blah. From limited price action, I do not see. I do not see people selling, right? So that's why the my thought process is that railway would still probably go on to do well, and those are the names I'll be watching closely, and some other names, right? Okay, so I did not have much. I just wanted to go through a couple of names with you guys and relay my thought process here. I'm open to taking questions if anyone has. Uh, sure, man. Anup, go ahead.
If we check the chart of next small cap,
Hmm.
like it is making lower highs.
Yes.
So suppose it makes a lower high again,
Yes.
like it comes down from this current price and makes a lower high. So if we look at that, look like this, that it is making lower highs, so I will consider that it is bearish. But at the same time, if I look it like it is forming a VCT,
Hmm.
then I will consider that it is bullish.
Yeah.
So I'm confused whether
Yeah,
I
yeah,
should
I
look it
got it.
as
I got it. I got
bullish
it.
or not.
I got it. I got it. Yeah. So see, we just because it's making a lower high doesn't mean it's bearish, right? Why? Because we have a clear range here. So this is the range. So right now, that's what I started with saying that right now the markets are basing. So whenever you say basing, you have a range, okay? And what is the range? The range is 12 for Nifty small cap 250. That's 1257. 12576 and 1183. Now this guy can do whatever the hell it wants between this. You will never be able to say, you should not, your view should not be अच्छा अच्छा bearish है या bullish है. ये बेस कर रहा है, राइट. And during the base what happens is like exactly this is one T, this is second T, and I don't know how many T comes now, depending upon kitna what is the percent correction in those T's and what is the volume during that T. That is the observation from where we should form a view for a couple of days or weeks, saying that okay, it might now start to go in a moment, start to go in a trend. If this breaks out, then it would be a continuation of trend. If it breaks down, then we say we are bearish. Okay, right now, even if it let's say it makes a lower high, similar low, lower high, similar low, it still can break out, and that base would then look like a descending triangle base. Descending triangle although has a bearish bias, but doesn't mean that descending triangle base आया मतलब it is going to be bearish. ऐसा नहीं होता है.
Okay.
Any more questions, folks?
Hi, Prakash.
Hello, Snehil.
Uh, Prakash, do you think that the trend in the last few days, I'm sorry if you've already said that, but I missed the initial part.
Yeah,
So
no
do you
problem.
think in the last days the trend has kind of become with a little more positive bias than before?
Yes,
Overall?
yes, I feel so. So I'll quickly revise sort of what I have started with. So see, like again, जैसे small cap में we just did. So right now we have a higher pivot here, 17.6, and a lower pivot here. And this is basically how stocks move. They don't just move like this. They do this staircase, right? ऊपर भी staircase, नीचे also they staircase. Okay, so right now staircase pattern में we are in staircase 1, staircase 2. Okay, so now this bounce कहाँ तक जाएगा that we do not know, but bounce जे आया वो पक्का हो गया है. Why? Because on a lower time frame we have got a higher pivot. So this is CNX 500 in 30 minutes. So what we have is you have a bottom 1, bottom 2, which is slightly smaller, lower than the bottom 1. We had a third bottom which is now actually a higher high, right? So now if you do the trend thingy, this was the breakdown point. This bar we had a lower high, lower low, and from that time onwards we were basing, and now we have a high which is higher than the previous high. So in my opinion we will probably do something like this. Now this high could come here, challenge the previous, the low could challenge the previous low, or be here, doesn't matter, but we are probably going to see a small bounce. Now that bounce will be, how strong that bounce will be we do not know, and these are the points where we can uh, encounter some resistance. Okay, this previous trend line or the previous high. So you are right, Snehil, that we today was a day which probably signaled that we have bottomed in a shorter time frame.
Hi, Pradesh.
Hi, Saif.
Yeah, could I discuss a few charts?
Sure.
Like one would be Better Foods. Vector, please, yeah. Here, what I see is it's taking some support from the moving average.
Yeah. Go on.
So I'm seeing it take support from a moving average and then bounce. There's a bounce now,
Yes.
and you have that descending trend line. But if you look at it from a straight line, on around 1082, I thought that would be a pivot type of thousand, yeah, 1080.
Yeah.
So could that be where you could go up to, before facing some resistance?
Yeah.
Or is
So
you have one descending line? I didn't know that.
yeah, so this is a nice trend line, because as you can see that it has so many touch points, one, two, three, and
Mm-hmm.
now the fourth one, and also the bounce is also quite good. If I were to look at it from a point of trying to make a new position, so this is what I
Yeah.
would anticipate. Okay, a good stock which will do better in coming days or weeks will either do this, will go on and challenge the previous high which you said 1080 whatever, which is around 1072, around this, now not exactly this, but around that. Let me draw this again. So uh, so this is the characteristics of a good stock. Okay, if MS Bector has to make money, then what will happen is that this guy will go on, get some resistance here, come back, make a higher low, higher than the previous low. Okay, so 915 के ऊपर could be 930, 940, 1000, and then it will sort of go up. Now, because the conditions are not ideal, what I would do is I would wait for this sort of action. Okay, now the question then becomes, would this kind of a price action play out exactly like it is? Most of the time, most of the time, although it plays out like this, but again couple of times it might not. So if this guy is already breaking out, then yes, like you said, that could be one place where you can make an entry.
Right. I mean, it could not reverse. You're saying it could continue the move up.
Yeah, so I'm saying that this is the region where there is most likely to take a resistance.
Reverse. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and then once it comes and makes a higher low, a low which is higher than the previous low, that is the time I would
Right.
get more interested in this stock. Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right. Great. Thanks. Another one would be Sundaram Fastness. So I've been following this in my. I'm seeing like a channel. What do you call this? A channel move, ascending channel. If you can see that, it's a channel.
Where could you
You can call
point?
this a flag. I don't know if you can call this a flag, but like a channel.
Maybe I will
You,
just put the NSE chart. Yeah, so here this is how I would read the chart. Okay, so what happened was, until this point of time we had this was a good flag, we had a prior uptrend, and then it was basing. Okay, and then we had a breakout here, the breakout failed, and Sundaram, the stock again went back inside the base. Okay, that doesn't mean that the stock has lost its charm or whatever, but I would again wait for it to break out again,
or
and
could
it
we look at this as an ascending channel? If you draw the trend lines, it is actually fitting in a parallel ascending channel
really
from the
from here.
no from yeah, you can say that from there also, but a little bit ahead. But yeah,
um, I don't see
from
one.
where you do it, you can say.
uh, I don't see a very clean ascending channel. I would just say that this is like a flag. I mean, this is a momentum burst, then a period of base, then a burst, then a period of base, and right now it's inside the base. It tried to go up, but it couldn't,
Yeah.
and it's still inside the base. And for me, the best case scenario would be, I mean, I think you are already holding this, but if you were to
Yes.
if someone wants to get back in more, then definitely has to, any closing above 1278 is the place I would go. And if someone wants to if you were to get out below 169, 1169, I find it very difficult to
But if it goes about 1278, then it could reverse also, right? I mean, that also could happen, right?
yes, so if it goes
Go
below,
back and it could
if
still go back and
I mean, yes, it can still go back, but that's how trend works, right? If
right.
its markets are good, so if everything is fine, that then hopefully it will also follow. It will come in the 80% of that statistics, wherein if the general market is on an uptrend, then 80% of stocks would be on an uptrend. And looking at Sundaram fasteners, I don't see huge distribution. Okay, I don't see like people are trying to offload stuff. Like uh, for example, if I show you another chart of like, see, the question you asked here, of course, if it goes up, then there is definitely a chance tomorrow a big guy who held like 5% of Sundaram Fasteners decides to sell 1% of his stake, sorry, 20% of his stake, then obviously that selling pressure will put the stock down. But in general, from the price action, what I read here is still that Sundaram Fastener is okay. Like there is nothing uh, very evident
Correct.
in the price and volume action which says that it will go up and give you a fake breakout like that.
I mean, you don't see a lot of volume in the selling part. That's what you're saying. The distribution,
Yes,
not very high volumes
that's exactly I'm
there can.
saying, yeah.
And also the Mars, your relative strength, which you pay attention to that is it's negative, right? So
Yes, it's
it's
negative.
not.
Yes. So now if you ask me a question, so Prakash, do you think that Sundaram fasteners will move break out? My answer would be slightly. I do not have that bias, right?
Right. Right.
So these are very
Uh,
very close sentences, but very different sentences. Okay. Now, if
Correct.
I
Because I'm just trying to understand your methodology also, and also the other indicator you use is that what you call super trend. In
yeah.
that, I noticed in my thing it is that where 10-2 is red.
Yes, 10-2 is fine.
So
I
that
mean, whenever things are basing, then one or the two goes red. But 10-3, which is the higher term super trend, it's still under the price, which means in a longer time frame, it's still okay. Now, when this breakout happens, and 1281 is the spot where I put it, and the 10-2 is also very near. So, that breakout will also coincide this guy breaking out of the 10-2, which is also another trigger which we use as a breakout. And
okay.
honestly, these are just although I have in my chart, but these are secondary things which I use. Mostly is just price and Mars. These are just as confirmations, because when people are just starting out, these are healthy indicators one to use, but this is not a part of strategy per se. This is just I use as a tool for beginners to, for
Even
a
the
help.
Bollinger Band thing that you have there, that is also like
See,
that, not a
exactly,
primary.
exactly. Bollinger Band is also like that. See, tightness देखने के लिए you can already see tightness by naked eye, right? So, for example, if I pull the chart of Electra, now I don't need Bollinger Band to say that this is terrifically tight. Okay,
Right.
so, but for someone who do not know first of all tightness only. For them it's more like a okay इस पे देख ले भाई 10% से ज़्यादा है, that means tight. So again, um, yeah, something like that. It just visually helps and it's a great tool. uh, but 100% it's price and volume. So now my bias for a Electra in this case would be positive, because yeah, I will show you some other charts where my bias is positive, like for example Parag Milk, right? Hugely positive bias that this guy is gonna break out and move. I don't have the same kind of bias in Sundaram fasteners
Okay.
till now, but again tomorrow there can be a 10% this one, and then
It
we
is
will
clearly see more tightness here than that. It's the thing is it's a tighter base.
it's
So
a tight
I
it's
guess
a tighter base, the volumes are better than there, the relative strength is also better than that.
yeah. Right. This time chance to ask one more stock.
Sure,
Otherwise,
sure,
others.
go ahead.
You know Minda, which is auto sector. Here, let me open my chart. It's a very long base, I feel, for since January 22. I think you can say it's a base. Or December 21, January 22. That the base
Yeah,
is.
so this was the prior uptrend, you are right. Then we had a very long T, I mean very long correction. Then it went up, it sort of challenged the previous high. Then it came back, it made a higher low, which was a great sign for the stock. Although there was huge selling at the last end. So there was selling here. The second leg was there was selling, but again lower than that. And now again possibly the third leg is going to come out. It still could not get out of the base. It tried. Unfortunately, I don't know, market conditions were such. Also, there was, I don't particularly like this candle because there was a huge this one bar. But let's look at the daily, and we will know this one. So this looks like some sort of block deal or so. And now right now it's again setting up.
It looks like a VCP actually, like
yes,
sort of
looks like a
you draw
VCP.
the-
Yes, this is one T, second T, but I'll be wary if it breaks down this. Then from looking at a longer chart, one there is a slight possibility that it can go somewhere like this. Sorry, something like this, right? Why you say? Because things are symmetrical. So you have a first T here, 38%. You have a second T here, 27%. So one could definitely क्या बोलते हैं उसको, anticipate a T which is like now sort of half than that. Again, these are just this one possibilities. You
Right,
you
right, yeah.
always
Right.
be open to possibilities that this thing could happen.
Yeah, not a great thing, but yeah. So you presently won't advise any entering this.
No, I will not. But again, see, if for me to enter this guy, what it should look like is this. Okay, so this would be clear pivot, and let's say this does something like this. Comes back, makes a higher low, and then gets tighter and then breaks out. That would be the ideal entry point for me. And then this would also be a long enough base. So generally I prefer anything higher than 30-day. So this would already be like a 43 bar ka base. And
It's a
anywhere,
base within a base, right? I mean, it's actually a huge base, but this is a more
yeah,
more tight.
so that all depends upon the time frame, right? So on a daily time frame this is a base, but on a weekly time frame, if you see, this is then again, this is actually This is actually the right side of a huge base, right? So imagine if this were slightly different, one could then say that, hey, this is actually now the handle of a cup, and the cup a cup has a double bottom in it. So this is actually a very well known pattern, which was characterized by William O'Neill. It's basically cup and handle which has a double bottom inside it. So this is that kind of a base. And
If you read it that way, it could look very bullish, right? I mean, that could depends how you want to read it, correct? I mean,
can you say that more clearly? You were not.
if you look at it that way, then it looks like a very bullish chart.
Oh
If
yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like with every candle, your view will be changed. So if something happen, if this base, let's say for it to look like an handle, it goes like this, goes like this, goes like this, and then breaks out. This is a fantastic entry. But till now, अभी तक वो दिखा नहीं है. Like we are not sure that something like this will happen.
cool. Thanks, Prakash.
Great, man. If anyone has any questions, last one, and then we'll stop this. All right, guys. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you soon.
Prakash, a quick one.
Huh.
Do you look at what happens in the US markets and all that? You do that type of thing before the day starts? You get influenced by
No, I
that
don't. My
doesn't affect how much?
my everyday reading of the market is not at all influenced. But I'm curious what's going on there. Yeah, but not influenced by, like, okay, US market 2% उठा तो अभी India market भी उठेगा. I don't have those sort of biases. I think that's not true. Yeah.
Correct. Of course, if there's a big crash, they'll affect everybody.
Yeah.
but
So, for
it's
example,
less
right now, US indices are in a huge pressure, but India is not feeling so much, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
They are actually making a huge lower high, but India is not. So I'll quickly show you what I mean by that. So if you see the US indices on a weekly, what this guy made was a lower high. Okay. But what we made was a higher high. So we are not same. We are not same, bro. So yeah.
Correct. And because you see what these channels and all, they just compare what happens in the US market and try to say that will affect our
Yeah.
market. But I think it's wrong.
I don't know how differently to say that people should not watch news, honestly. Um I don't know. Like without news, our lives will be better. Really, honestly, especially the economic news and all. So yeah, I I just watch the indices only, and a couple of stocks. And the way the leadership stocks were behaving, it was the recent fall was so clear. Like if you see Nvidia, this is a classic example of a topping base. This is an anti-VCP pattern. VCP में you have 18% first, then 16, then 11, you know, and a base where fall is going to come, you will have the higher increasing volatility. This Tata Elxsi also showed similar character before topping. See, when it moved from left to right, the volatility increased. Minus 22, minus 25, minus 31, minus 36. So, yeah, when leadership stocks crack, no chance. Okay, I'll stop the recording.